A very good morning to all of you. My name is Suren Kumar Misra and you are watching my channel Surcamp. Today we have to read Is Matter Around Us Pure? In class 9 chapter 2, because already chapter 1 matters in our surroundings it is completed. So today it is introduction. When we go to the market, we look a variety of substances, ghee, milk, okay, and oil in which it is written pure. Pure word it is written. Either it is pure or means if any other impurities, if any other substances, if it is not added according to common person, if any other substances if it is not added, so it is known as what? Pure. Means suppose that pure ghee, pure oil, okay, we consider it as a pure ghee, pure oil if any other substances if it is not added in it, pure milk and so on. Is it pure? According to science, according to scientists, it is not a pure substance. That's why, because suppose when we talk about the milk, so in a milk proteins, okay, butter particles and the proteins, it is suspended in the liquid. Proteins are suspended in a liquid. So according to scientists, it is considered as a mixture. It is considered as a mixture. Okay, means which is made up of more than one substances. Two or more than one substances, it is considered as a mixture. Then what is pure substance? According to scientists, what is pure substance? So the substance which is made up of single type of particles. Okay, what is mixture? If any substance which is made up of more than one substances, so it is known as what? Mixture. It is known as mixture. So pure ghee, pure oil or pure milk, it will considered as a mixture according to science. So the substance which is made up of single type of particles, it is known as pure substance. Okay, what is pure substance? What is pure substance? The substance, okay, the substance which is made up of only one type of particles, made up of only one type of particles throughout its composition. Means if it is having what? Uniform composition. Everywhere if it is having same particles. Okay? Everywhere if its property is same, then it will known as what? And it is made up of only same type of particles. Then it will known as what? Pure substance. Okay? Then it will known as pure substance. So the substances, a pure substance consists of single type of particles. So matters it can be classified on the basis of its purity, and impurities it can be classified the pure substance or the matters, all the matters. I think you have got this point. The pure substance, that is what? All type of element. For examples, all elements. In this chapter we will read about the elements. For example, all elements means what? Sodium, magnesium, calcium, okay, iron, all these are etc. Okay, so these are what? Pure substance. These are pure substance. Okay. If all the compounds also, it is what? Pure substance. Okay, all the compounds also it is pure substance. Suppose that water H2O, okay, CO2, it will also considered as a pure substance because it's throughout its composition it is uniform composition it is having. Okay, uniform composition it is having, so that also it will be considered as a pure substance. Either it is what compound, either it is compound. Later we will discuss about the compound also. What is the compound? Okay, right now just it is categorized into pure substance. You have to remember. So how can be classified into matters? I think you have got this point. The pure substance it is made up of only one type of particles throughout its a composition. Example it is all the elements, metals, non-metals, and a metalloid. Okay, and all the compounds. It is what examples of pure substance. Now the matter it can be classified into two parts on the basis of its purity and impurity, just, or on the basis of its composition. Matters it can be classified into two parts. First, that is pure substance. Pure substance. Okay, and the second one, that is mixture, or we can say that impure substance. Okay, means in the pure substance the particles it is made up of only one type, the substance which is made up of only one type of particles, the substance which is made up of only one type of particles, it will be known as pure substance. And the substance which is made up of two or more than two particles, the substance which is made up of two or more than two particles, that will be known as what? Mixture. In the pure substance there's all the elements and the compounds, all elements and the compounds. Okay, and compounds it will include, and in a mixture all type of substances. Suppose that ghee, okay, butter, milk, okay, these all are what? In mixture. Suppose if we consider the salt, okay, sodium chloride. So salt NaCl, okay, common salt, it is also what? One of the pure substance. Suppose if we can call it sugar particles, okay, sugar C12 H22O11, okay, cane sugar, it can also be classified into pure substance, while it is also compound. NaCl, salt, and sugar, it is also compound, so that we can consider it as a pure substance. So pure substance which is made up of same type of particles or only single type of particles, it is known as pure substance. And the mixture, if any substance is made up of more than two or more than two types of particles. Okay, so first about the pure substance we have to read, and in that mixture it is made up of components. Mixture is made up of two or more pure substances. Okay, two or more pure substances, we can say that means when two or more substances by two or more substances it is made up, or when two or more substance it combined physically, then it is known as what? Mixture. Suppose when we dissolve the sugar in a water, and if we are preparing the nibu pani, okay, if we are preparing lemon water or nibu pani, so it is an example of mixture. Why? Because in this what it contain sugar plus water plus lemon. Okay, tea it is a mixture. Tea it is a mixture. Why? It contains sugar, water, and tea leaves. Sugar, water, and tea leaves. So that we can consider it as a mixture. And tea leaves. Okay. So these all are what example of mixture, and it is made up of same, means what you can say, it is a mixture of two or more substances. And the properties of mixture. Okay, the overall properties of mixture, it is the combining of all its constituent. Combining of all its constituent means the, what you can say, in the tea we can see that, or we can feel that the properties of sugar. Okay, it is sweet in a taste. Water. Okay, by the drinking of tea. Okay, what you can say that, just we can feel the water. Okay, we can get the water and the tea leaves. The taste of tea leaves also, the taste of water and the tea leaves also we can feel it. Suppose if we are having tea. Okay, so it is the overall properties of, means the mixture. What we can say that the components of mixture retain their properties. Components of mixture, it retain their property. In the mixture, the overall constituent particles by which it is made up, all its constituent particles, the properties of all its constituent particles, we can observe in the mixture. Okay, the properties of mixture retain. Okay, components of mixture retain their properties of constituent substances by which it is made up. Okay, now the pure substance, again it can be classified into two types. The pure substance, now here it is matter, or matter it is divided into pure substance and a mixture. Okay, now we have to classify the pure substance, and after that we will read the mixture. So first that is pure substance. Pure substance, pure substance, it is also classified into two parts. That is, first one it is element. Okay, and second one which is compound. First one it is element, second it is compound. Okay, here elements also it is classified into three parts. Elements also it is classified into three parts. First one, that is known as metals, second non-metals, and the third one, that is metalloid. Okay, metalloids. So element, what is element? A compound is a pure substance, means what is element? This element terms, it was given by the Robert Boyle. Okay, this element terms, it was given by Robert Boyle in a 1661. Just to think, how many years ago? 1661. Robert Boyle, he identified about the elements. Okay, one of the scientists. And the first definition it was given by Anthony Lavoisier. Okay. Now I think you have got the pure substance. It is classified into elements and compounds. Elements again it is classified into three parts: metals, non-metals, and a metalloid. So let me have to start one by one. First, what is element? Okay, what is element? In the pure substance, what is elements? So Robert Anthony Lavoisier, the first definition it was given by Anthony Lavoisier. Okay, one of the French chemist, and according to him, the element it may be defined as the substance which can neither be broken down into simpler substance. Definition of element. That is, what is it? A substance which can neither be broken down into simpler substance. A substance which can which can neither be broken down into simpler substance neither be broken down into simpler substance and nor be formed from two or more simpler substance and nor be formed from two or more simpler substance by any known physical or chemical process. By any known physical or chemical process. Okay. So what is element according to Anthony Lavoisier? A substance which can neither be broken down into simpler substances, okay, and nor be formed from two or more simpler substance by any known physical or chemical process. Means which can what we cannot break down the elements, or we cannot prepare the elements. Okay, it cannot be break down and it cannot be prepared by physical or chemical methods. Okay, so elements, and according to the actual definition, the element is the substance. One more definition which we can write. Okay, element is the substance. Element is a pure substance. Which is made up of only one kind of atoms. Okay, element is a pure substance which is made up of only one kind of atom. Okay, it cannot be break down. And it cannot be prepared by physical or chemical method. Okay, so element is the purest form of substance which is made up of only one type of atoms. Means uniform distribution throughout the uniform distribution in a whole element. For example, suppose that if we are taking the iron, okay, element of iron, so throughout its composition we can get the same type of particles, okay, by which it is made up. Okay, throughout its composition we will get the same type of composition throughout the substance. Okay, so these are the elements. Okay, and right now there are, now I think you have got the definition of element, a substance which is made up of only one kind of atoms, that is known as element. There are so many elements: iron, sodium, okay, aluminium, phosphorus, carbon, silicon, okay, etc. Okay, so there are 118 known element. There are 118 known elements. Out of these 118 known elements, 92 elements are natural. 92 elements are natural. Okay, means already it was present in the nature. Okay, and the remaining element it is prepared in the laboratory. Remaining elements prepared in the laboratory. prepared in a laboratory. Is it visible or not? Just wait. Yes, it is visible. So the remaining all the elements it is prepared in the laboratory means it is man-made. It is man-made, and 92 it is natural element. So about this now we have to study. Okay. About this we have to study. I think you have written all the things. Okay. Next. About the elements. So some more information about the elements, that is what all these elements do not occur in the earth crust of the same proportion, means in the same composition it is not present in the all the elements. Okay, all the elements do not present in the earth crust, as a same proportion or same ratio. Okay, means the percentage of what the different element, it may be different in the different part of the earth crust. The most abundant element in the earth crust are, okay, second point you write down, most abundant element in the earth crust. Most abundant elements in earth crust. Most abundant elements in earth crust. That is oxygen, silicon, iron, nickel, okay, nickel, and calcium, sodium, potassium, sodium, potassium, etc. Okay. So most abundant element in the earth crust, that is oxygen, silicon, nickel, iron. These are the most abundant element. Okay, in the earth crust which is present. So elements are regarded as the building blocks of universe. Why? Because most of the element it is present. We can get 92 elements. Okay, out of 118. If it is made up of, if we get from the nature, so definitely most part of the earth it is made up of these elements. Okay, most part of these the earth it is made up of elements or compounds. Okay, so about the elements, some of the elements it present in the natural state, some elements it exists as a compound form, molecular form. Okay, later we will discuss about that. So this element it may be classified into solid, liquid, and a gas. Okay, on the basis of its state, this can be classified into solid, liquid, and a gas. Okay, at room temperature, in which state it is present. Okay, suppose when we talk about liquid state, because it is very rare, in the liquid state only two elements it is present. That is, first one in liquid state only mercury. Okay, mercury symbol is Hg. Okay, which is a metal. It is a metal. About metal and a non-metal. Okay, after this we will discuss that. Okay, and second one, that is bromine. That bromine. Its symbol is Br. Capital B and a small r, capital H and a small g, mercury. So, and it is a non-metal. So this both of the elements, it exists in the liquid state at a room temperature. Okay, mercury and a bromine. Mercury, which is a metal, and bromine, which is a non-metal. Along with this, gallium and a cesium. Okay, gallium and a cesium. Gallium, Ga, and a cesium, Cs. Gallium and a cesium. Okay, these both are metal. Both are metal. Okay, so this both of the element exist in the liquid state. Okay, above 30 degrees centigrade. That is a metal above 30 degrees centigrade. Means at a room temperature it exists as a, what you can say, liquid state, you can say, above 30 degrees centigrade. Okay, gallium and cesium, when we use so in the liquid form it is used, but mostly it is taken, this both of the element, it is taken in the liquid state, because always it present in the liquid form, mercury and bromine. Okay, so this both of the element basically you have to remember, and the gallium and the cesium, okay, in a liquid form it is used above 30 degrees centigrade, it is in the solid state. Now next is, that is gaseous state. Gaseous state, how many elements it is present in the gaseous state? Gaseous state. In the gaseous state, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. Okay, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, and that is what? Fluorine. One more. Okay, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, and all the noble gases which present in the group ATP, and all noble gases which present in a, which is placed in group AT. Periodic table we have to read in class 10th. Okay, so it is divided into 18 groups, 1 to 18 groups. So in group number 18, the element which is placed, it is known as what? Noble gases. Okay, it is known as noble gases. It is inert in nature. Okay, non-reactive element. So all the noble gases means helium, neon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay, helium, neon, argon. One argon is remaining. That is helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. This all the 6 element, and here what? 5 element. So total 11. Okay, 11 elements. These 11 elements is present in which state? Gaseous state. Okay, at a room temperature. At room temperature, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. Okay, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are the symbols of all the elements. Okay, hydrogen, it is represented as a H, oxygen it is O, nitrogen N, fluorine F, chlorine Cl, helium He, neon Ne, krypton Kr, xenon Xe, radon Rn, and argon Ar. Okay, later we will discuss about the symbols of elements. Okay, in chapter 3 and 4 in this class only. So these are present in the gaseous state. Now the remaining all the elements, okay, most of the element is present in the solid state. It exists as in the solid state. Okay, the remaining all the elements, okay, it exists in the What? In which state? Solid state. Okay. Remaining all element it exists in the solid state. Means here 2 and this one is 11. Means 13 out of 118. Out of 118, 13 element you subtract. So how many it will be? 38, 0, 1. 105 element. 105 element it exists in the solid state. Okay. Clear? Solid, liquid and the gaseous phase. The element which is present in this state. Now next point which we have to discuss, that is about the metals, non-metals and a metalloid. I think you have written this point, all the points. So next we have to discuss metals, non-metals and a metalloid. Metals, non-metals and a metalloid. Okay. So first one, that is metals. What is metals? The substance, okay, the substance, write down the definition of metals. The substance which is having uniform composition. Okay, the substance which is having uniform composition. Which is having uniform composition. Okay, and which can donate electrons, during chemical reaction, and form cation and remain as a cation. Just you write in this way. And remain as a cation. Okay, the substance which is having uniform composition and which can donate electrons during the chemical reaction and remain itself as a cation. Okay, means during the chemical reaction what it donate the electrons. Okay, from where it comes electrons, because it is having what? Electrons. All the metals, non-metals, it is having what? Electrons. What is electrons, proton, all the things we will discuss in chapter 3 and 4. Just you have to remember here, means it can donate the electron during the chemical reaction. It is hard and strong. Okay, and all the properties we will read right now. Okay, all the physical property here. Only physical property it is given in your syllabus in class 9. The chemical properties you have to read in class 10. Okay, so we have to start the properties of metals. So what are metals? The substance which is having what? Positive charge or which can donate the electron during the chemical reaction. Okay, now next, properties of metals. Okay, so what are the properties of metals? Okay, first properties, it is hard and strong. First one, it is hard and strong, means it is when we beat it. Okay, when we beat it, then it can not be break. Okay, It cannot be break when we beat it. And it is too much hard. It is not a soft. It is not a brittle. It cannot be break. Okay. So all the metals, it is hard and strong except some of the metals. Except mercury, which is in the liquid state. Okay. Except mercury, which is in the liquid state, and sodium, potassium, zinc. Okay, because sodium and potassium both are soft, and zinc it is brittle in nature. Zinc it is brittle in nature, means it can, when we beat it, so it can break. So it is not so hard and strong. Okay, and mercury it is in the liquid state. It exists as a liquid in the room temperature. The remaining all the metals, for example, remaining all metals are hard and strong. Suppose iron, copper, nickel, okay, cobalt, okay, and after that any other metal, iron, carbon, nickel, cobalt, okay, titanium, vanadium, chromium, etc. Okay, there are so many metals. Clear? So all these metals are what? Hard and strong except mercury, sodium, potassium, zinc. Now second point you write down the properties of metals. Second point, it is malleable. It is malleable. Means what is malleable or what is malleability? What is malleability? It can be converted into thin sheet. Okay, thin sheets. It can be converted into thin sheet by hammering. Okay, it can be converted into thin sheets. Suppose that gold, silver, okay, it's a thin sheet. It is used in the packing of sweets. The thin sheets of, for example, gold and silver, it is used in the packing of sweets. Okay, is used in the packing of sweets. Okay, packing of sweets. So these are what thin sheets means. That is, it is also made up of metals, that gold or silver metals, which is used as a packaging material. Okay, and this property it is malleability. And gold and silver it is most malleable and ductile. Okay, gold it is what? Most malleable. Gold is the metal which is having what? Most malleability properties. Okay, most malleability property. So these are malleable, and that sheet of tin which is used, okay, in the making of homes. Okay, in the making of homes it is used. Okay, so there are so many metals means which is used as a thin sheets. So it can be, when it is converted into thin sheets, then this such a property it is known as what? Malleability or malleable. I think you have got this point. Now next point, that is ductile. It is third point, ductile. It is ductile. Metals are ductiles. Okay, it is ductile in nature. Means what is ductility? It can be drawn into, okay, it can be drawn into thin wires. Okay, It can be drawn into thin wires. The wires which we used in our homes, okay, it is also made up of metals. Okay, so it can be converted into thin wires, and if it is converted into thin wires, so this property is known as ductile. This property is known as ductile, and the most ductile metal, that is gold. Most ductile metal is gold. So why it is not used in the preparation of wires? Because it is precious, too much precious, so that it is not used in the preparation of wires. Okay, some metals which are not ductile and are here also malleability property, its exception is the exception of malleability property. It is the exception of malleability property, that is what? This all the elements, exception, malleability, converted into, it can be converted into thin. Yes, here I am writing exception, malleability, exception, all the elements that what we have written, malleable, that Hg, mercury, okay, and sodium, potassium, okay, zinc. This element also, it is what? Non-malleable, because it cannot be converted into thin sheet. Now next is ductile property. What is ductile? It is converted, it can be drawn into thin wires. So most ductile metal, that is gold. Most ductile metal, it is gold, and exception is mercury, sodium, potassium, and zinc. Same exception here, mercury, sodium, potassium, and zinc. Exception, because nowadays this exception it is asked, so you should remember exception, mercury, sodium, potassium, and zinc. Okay, mercury, sodium, potassium, and zinc. So third point I think you have got. Now next point, that is, it is lustrous. Metals are lustrous. Okay, metals are lustrous. Metals are, fourth point, metals are lustrous. Metals are lustrous means what is lustrous? Means it is having shining property. It is having shining property. Okay, it's shine. Okay, it is shining property. It is having shining property. Okay, so that it is what? Lustrous. All the metals. Okay, all the metals, it is having what? Shining property. So that it is known as what? It is having lustrous, except the lead. Except lead. Okay, lead, it is stand for Pb, which is having dull appearance. It is having dull appearance. Okay, not a lustrous. Lead, it is having dull appearance. Next property, okay, that is, what is that? It is sonorous in nature. Next property, it is sonorous in nature. I think you have written this. Yes. So fifth point, metals are sonorous. Okay, means what is this? When we beat it, it is having a specific sound. Okay, or when we heat it produce a specific sound, specific metallic sound. Okay, a specific metallic sound. The bell in the school, okay, it is made up of metals, okay, metallic sound it produce. So that is what metallic sound is that what you can say. Yes, bell in the temple also, okay, the bell, ringing bell, that it is in the temple also it is used, okay. So these all are what sonorous. When we beat it, that is what, well then it produces a specific sound, okay. Now next property, that is what metals, it is sonorous, which is when we hit it, it produces a specific sound. Most of the metals are exist as a solid, except most of the metals exist in a solid state, except mercury, except mercury, okay, except mercury, which is present at the solid state. Most of the metals exist in a solid state at a room temperature. At a room temperature, you write down at a room temperature, okay, at a room temperature. At room temperature, it exists in the solid state, okay. So most of the metals, it exists in the solid state except mercury at a room temperature. Next point, that is what the metal cell is having what high density, okay, it is having high density, it is having high density, okay, it is having high density. What is density? In class 9 chapter 1 already we have discussed density. Mass by volume, D is equal to mass by volume, as compared to its volume, its mass, it is more, okay. So large number of particles, it is placed in a small volume, occupied in a small volume, okay. Large number of particles it occupied in the small volume, so that all the metals, it is having what high density, okay, it is having high density. Next point, that is what it can conduct the electricity. I think this first side, upper side point already you have written, yes. Next point, that is at point, it can conduct the electricity. At point, yes. Metals conduct electricity, metal conducts electricity, okay, so that it is good conductor of electricity, good conductor. All the metals, it is known as good conductor of electricity, good conductor, okay, good conductor. And except the what tungsten wire, except tungsten wire, tungsten wire, okay, because it is used as a heating purpose, either it is used in the as a filament in the bulb. That is why, because of having high melting point, this tungsten wire, it is used as a having high melting point, okay, it cannot be melt easily, having highest, just you can say that, highest melting point. Because of having highest melting point, the tungsten wire, it is used in the as a filament, okay, it is used as a filament in the bulb, used as a filament in a bulb, okay. Why? First is it is a what, it cannot conduct the electricity, and the second one, it is used as a filament because it is having what high melting point, so it glows, okay, it glows, okay, and we can get the light. Now it is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, and the next point, that is what? High melting point and a boiling point. All the metals, I think you have written this, all the points. Yes. Okay, all the metals having 9 point metals, or you write down in this way. All metals are having high melting point and a boiling point. High melting point and a boiling point. High melting point and a boiling point. Okay, high melting point and a boiling point. It is very, because its melting point and the boiling point is too much. Next point. Okay, it is non-brittle, hard and strong, and it is non-brittle. That in the first point already we have discussed. Okay. Then next, bond between metal, it is metallic bond. Okay, bond between metals is metallic bond. It is known as metallic bond. Okay, metallic bond. All the metals, it is what? Basic in nature. All the metals, it is basic in nature. Okay, why? Acidic and a basic both. Okay, suppose that nature of oxide is generally basic. Nature of oxide, it is basic in nature, except most of the metals oxide, write down, most of the metallic oxide are basic in nature. This all the points, it will be again repeated in class 10 also. So just you read it properly. Okay. Most of the metallic oxide are basic in nature. Okay. Except chromium oxide, manganese oxide. Okay. Except chromium oxide. Except CrO3 and Mn2O7. Manganese oxide and chromium oxide, it is what? Acidic. These both are acidic in nature. Okay. And what is oxide? That all the things we will read. Just you learn here. Amphoteric, aluminium, lead and zinc. It is amphoteric, means which is having what? Acidic and a basic property both. Amphoteric, that aluminium, zinc, lead. Okay, aluminium, zinc, lead. These all are amphoteric in nature. Means aluminium oxide, lead oxide, zinc oxide. Okay, what is that? Al2O3, ZnO. Okay, and Pb, what is PbO2, lead dioxide, or PbO2. So these all are what? Amphoteric means it's so acidic as well as basic. Okay, and the chromium oxide, CrO3 and Mn2O7, it is acidic in nature. The remaining all the metallic oxide, it is what? Basic in nature. It is basic in nature. Now next is its atomicity. Okay, atomicity, in the next chapter we will read that what is atomicity. So that is 11th, 12th point. Atomicity. So atomicity is a what? The number of atoms by which any metal is made up of, or how many atoms it contains. So that is atomicity. Okay. most of the metals, the atomicity of metals in a vapor state, atomicity, okay, first atomicity you write down the number of atoms by which it is made up, the number of atoms by which it is made up. Okay, how many number of atom it contains, that is known as what? Atomicity. Suppose that in P4 phosphorus it contains 4 atoms, so that its atomicity is 4. In O2 its atomicity is 2. Atomicity is 2, P4 4. Okay, O3 atomicity is 3. S8 atomicity is 8. Okay, so all these are what? Atomicity. Suppose that any sulfur element, okay, which is having what? Only 8 atoms, so it is what? It is known as its atomicity. Okay, means how many atoms it contains, that is known as its atomicity. So later we will read in detail. Okay, right now just you have to remember that it is atomicity, the number of atoms by which it is made up, how many atoms it is made up. So atomicity of metals in a vapor state are monoatomic. Metals in a vapor state are monoatomic. Okay, so it is having only one atom. It is made up of only one atom. It exists in the atomic form. Okay, now these are the properties, physical properties of, okay, some chemical properties also included, just in case of what? Metallic oxide, okay, atomicity, okay, acidic and the basic nature. So these all are chemical properties also. So these are the properties of metals. Okay, properties of metals. Now let me start the properties of non-metal. I think in all the points you have got, because very nicely I have tried to explain. So properties of non-metal, it is opposite of metals. All the properties which is having the metals, okay, the opposite properties of the metals, all the non-metals it is having. So properties of non-metals, okay, properties of non-metals, that is what? Non-metals are non-lustrous, cannot be polished. First point, non-metals are non-lustrous. Okay, and lustrous already I have told that shining property. Okay, it cannot be polished. But what? Some of the non-metals it is what? Lustrous. Okay, that is what? Iodine, diamond, graphite crystal. Iodine, diamond and a graphite crystal. Except, okay, iodine, diamond, which is a allotrope of carbon, diamond and a graphite crystal, it is lustrous, and a graphite crystal. Okay, iodine, diamond and a graphite crystal, it is lustrous, and it is having what? Dull appearance. It is non-lustrous and it is having what? Dull appearance, which is non-metals. Dull appearance. Okay. Second point, it is brittle in nature. Okay, it is brittle in nature. Brittle means it can be break down. When we beat it, so it can be break down. It will break down. It is brittle in nature. Okay. Okay. So it is brittle in nature. It can be when we beat it, so it will break down. Except all gases. Except all gases. Except all gases. Okay. The remaining of the non-metals, it can be break down. Next point, that is bond between non-metals. Just like the bond between the metals, it is having metallic bond. So bond between non-metals, okay, bond between non-metal, it is van der Waals bond, van der Waals force of attraction. Bond between non-metals, okay, that is van der Waals force of attraction, weak van der Waals force, okay, weak van der Waals force, van der Waals force of attraction, okay, means which is a weak force, and the which is means the bond between the non-metals, it is what, van der Waals force of attraction. Now melting point, it is having low melting point and a boiling point. Low melting point and a boiling point. Low melting point and a boiling point. Okay, it is having low melting point and a boiling point. Example, its exception, it is silicon, carbon and a boron. Exception, it is silicon, carbon and a boron. Silicon, carbon and a boron, which is having what, high melting point and a boiling point. Okay, which is having high melting point and a boiling point. It is non-ductile. Okay, fifth point, ductility, which can be drawn into thin wires. So it cannot be convert into thin wires. Exception, that is why you have to write the exception, because nowadays what exception it is asked in the examination. Okay, exception, that is what, carbon fibers. Okay, exception, it is carbon fibers, which is what, ductile, which is, it is having ductility property, means it can be drawn into thin wires. Next, its atomicity, it is a polyatomic. I think upper side point you have written. Okay. Yes. Next point, that is it is brittle in nature. Its atomicity, it is polyatomic. Sixth point, it is polyatomic. Okay, means it is made up of more than one atom. Okay, polyatomic. For example, chlorine, atomicity, it is 2, oxygen 2, ozone 3, phosphorus 4. Okay, phosphorus 4, sulfur 8. So these all are what, polyatomic. Why? It is made up of more than one atom, so that it is known as what, polyatomic in nature. But the noble gases, it is except all noble gases, because it is inert in nature. All noble gases which is inert in nature, it is monoatomic. In the atomic form it exists. Monoatomic, in the atomic form it exists. Next point, it is acidic. Its oxide, it is acidic in nature. Okay, generally its oxide, it is acidic in nature. Okay, its oxide is acidic in nature. Oxide, non-metallic oxide, is acidic in nature. Okay, except its exception, it is H2O. Okay, H2O, carbon monoxide, nitric oxide and nitrous oxide. Neutral oxide, it is. Okay, it is neutral oxide. Exception, first you write. Exception. Okay, neutral oxide. It is neutral in nature. That is what? H2O, nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, then nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, and one more, that is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, which is neutral. Okay, because all these what, hydrogen non-metal, nitrogen non-metal, nitrogen non-metal, carbon non-metal, but its oxide it is neutral in nature. Most of the oxide it is acidic in nature. Okay, but this oxide it is neutral. So these are the properties of non-metals. Okay, now we will discuss that metalloids. Metalloids. Okay, I think you have got the non-metals. So metalloid it exists. The properties of metalloid, it exists between the metals and the non-metals. The properties of metalloid, third one, that is metalloid. Properties of metalloid, it exists between the, its property exists, its property exists between metals and the non-metals. Metals and the non-metals. Okay, means it is having the properties of metals as well as non-metals. Okay, so the properties of metals as well as non-metals. So it is okay, and examples of metalloid, it is boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony. Okay, examples of metalloid: boron, silicon. Boron, its symbol is B. Silicon, its symbol is Si. Arsenic, symbol is As. Okay, germanium, symbol is Ge. Okay, antimony, its symbol is Sb. So these all are what? Metalloids. Okay, these all are metalloids. And all the 100, I think metals, non-metals and metalloid, it is over. One more point you have to write, that is what? All the metals, okay, it is located, means in the periodic table, all the 118 elements, it exists or it is located in the 18 vertical column. Vertical column means top to bottom. Vertical column means top to bottom. It is exist in the, means from 1 to, in this way. It is suppose what? 18. It is 18. So this top to bottom, okay, the column, vertical column, it is known as what? Groups. Okay, it is known as groups. And horizontal column means left to right. It is known as what? Periods. So it is divided into 1, 2, 3 and 7. Means 7 horizontal column. Okay, in this way 7 horizontal column and 18 vertical column. Just you have to remember overall, which you have to read in detail in class 10. Okay, so all the 118 elements, it is classified into, okay, 18 groups or 18 vertical columns and 7 horizontal column. Okay, so group number 1 to 12. Okay, metals, it belongs to group number 1 to 12. Okay, 1 to 12, all the elements, it is metallic in nature. 1 to 12 except hydrogen, which is a non-metals. So group 1 to 12, all the elements, it is metallic in nature. Group 13 to 18, suppose here it is 13. Group 13 to 18, okay, all the, what it is known as, what it contain, group 13 to 18, it contain metals, non-metals as well as metalloid. All type of element it contain. Group 13 to 18, it contain all type of elements. Okay, all type of element. And group 1 to 12, it contains metals, only metals. It contains only metals. Okay, and bottom of the periodic table two main what groups are there, so that it also belongs to group third. Okay, so it is also what metals. Okay, both of them on the bottom means bottom of the periodic table there are two separate columns placed. Okay, these all elements are also 28 elements are there. So these all elements are also examples of metals which belongs to group 3. Okay, so only these elements means group what 13 to 18. It contain all type of element, metals, non-metals and a metalloid. The vertical column it is known as groups top to bottom which is remain, and the horizontal column is left to right, it is period. Okay, in class 10 in detail you will read that. Okay, periodic classification of elements. So in this way I think you have got metals, non-metals, metalloid, properties of metals, non-metals and a metalloid, and what is element, what is elements. Okay, so in the next class we will read, because already it is lengthy the video is, so in the next class we will read about the compounds and a mixture. Okay, so thank you for watching my YouTube video and all the best.